It's disgusting. It is actually disgusting, and something needs to be done in this country to get the education out there, to spread the word that actually you're all fucking losers. What's going on, everyone? My name is Luke and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at something that a lot of people don't know about in the betting industry, which is how many people actually win. And perhaps more importantly than this, how many people think that they win. A few months ago, I ran a survey and I asked hundreds and hundreds of people about their betting habits and a whole load of other things. And the results that we got back were fascinating. They were shocking. And I'm sure you will agree, as we go throughout this video, there is a massive problem and a lack of education in the gambling industry. Even if you don't yet know it, as we go through the stats, I will give you my take on things and you will start to see why things don't quite add up. It's worth noting that with this survey, we screened people before we started. What this means is we asked one question up front. What is your knowledge of matched betting, arbitrage betting, or other similar techniques? If they answered that they knew what it was, or they answered that they do it or have done it in the past, they were not able to complete the rest of the survey. Those that had said they'd never heard of it, or those that had said they'd heard of it but didn't know what it was, they were free to complete the survey. And the reason that we did this screening question is because we wanted to make sure that we had survey respondents that were traditional people that didn't definitely know how to beat the system. These are all your typical punters, your regular bettors that don't definitively know how to beat the system. So make sure you watch this video right through to the end, hit that like button if you do find it interesting, and if you've got any thoughts, any questions you want to ask, drop them down in the comments below. Before we get started, I just want to quickly say I found it very funny that no mainstream media would report on my findings. Despite the fact that I contacted absolutely all of the mainstream media that I could think of, which was probably somewhere between the range of 50 to 100 newspapers and big publications, none of them would touch it. They would not report on potentially anti-bookmaker things coming from them, and they wouldn't want to deal with me either. I completely understand this. Bookmakers and casinos, they spend a lot in advertising with the mainstream media. These publications have affiliate links to bookmakers. They don't want gambling to be seen in too negative of a light because they want to make sure that they keep bringing money in. This isn't surprising. Well, actually it is a little bit surprising that absolutely no one would report on these findings despite the fact that they're so alarming. The one site that would publish something was Justice for Punters. I've put a link down in the description below to their take on my findings, and it's a little bit strange that The Guardian also used their data and ran a very short story using their findings or their take on the data, which was my data. But of course, as a mainstream media outlet, they would not be willing to link to me. They wouldn't be willing to credit me, so whatever. Let's move on with the rest of the video. As we go through this, you'll see the stats on screen. I've taken these all from an infographic that I put together for the Beating Betting website. If you do want to check it out in full, then you can also find that down in the description below. This is where things start to get a little bit disturbing. 35.3% of people consider themselves to be profitable bettors. 35.3%, so more than a third of people that place bets on sports think that they are long-term winners, i.e. they make money over a long-term period. But of these people that believe they are winners, only 52.6% of people know what a betting exchange is. If you are watching this and you're unfamiliar with what a betting exchange is, or the reason that this is important, it's because betting exchanges typically give the most value on a bet. If you stick with one or two bookmakers, if you're loyal to a bookmaker, like a lot of people are, a lot of people have their favorites, you won't be getting the best price on things, you won't be getting the best value. And to make money long term, you need to be getting the most value you possibly can. The price that is on an exchange is typically seen as fair value, and over a long term, if you have no edge, you will probably just break even or lose a tiny bit of money in commission. Whereas if you bet long term with a bookmaker, you will probably lose a lot more because they don't give a fair price. The way bookmaking works, they have a thing called an over-round. If you don't know what that is, then that's one for a bit of further research for you. For 35.3% of people to think that they're winning bettors, but only just over half to know what a betting exchange is, it already shows that the rest of this survey is probably going to throw up some interesting findings. Of these 35.3% of people that win, only 7.8% of those have ever been banned or restricted. By restricted, I mean they've had their stakes limited, so if you try to put £20 on a bet and they might come back and say, no, we'll give you £1 or 13p or something crap like that. Or they could have had access to their free bets removed and other promotions like that. From working in the industry for a long time, and from research, and just from being a profitable bettor myself, I can tell you it is a fact, and you can look at what Sky Bet have said about this, you can look about what other bookmakers have said about this. It is a fact that bookmakers restrict winning players. There is no doubt about this, there's no debate, it is a fact. So for only 7.8% of the people that think they win to have ever been banned or restricted, ever, on one bookmaker, it's just not right. They don't win, or they don't win anywhere near a significant amount of money, and by this I mean they're probably betting over 12 months and winning £100 maybe, if they're actually winning, which they're most probably not. Of those that admit that they actually make a loss, 20.9% of people say they have lost hundreds, 8.5% of people say they've lost thousands, and 0.7% of people say they've lost tens of thousands. That's almost 1 in 100 losers admitting that they have lost tens of thousands of pounds betting on sports. Now, if that wasn't shocking enough, I actually think these numbers are on the low side, and this is for a psychological reason linked to what we just saw with how many people think they win but probably do not. This is because, firstly, ego. People don't like to admit that they're not a winning bettor. It's kind of seen as a cool thing to win bets, and I just don't really understand the whole thing, but it's just the type of social thing where sharing winning bets and winning money and being known for that guy that wins on sports bets is seen as a really popular and cool thing to have about you. And also the psychological thing that it's a lot easier to remember your wins than it is your losses. So people forget about the losses a lot more easily than they do forget their wins. So this is why people actually believe they make a profit when they probably don't. So for 0.7% of losers to have lost tens of thousands is a big shame, and it's sad, but I actually estimate this number to be more than 1%. Those that bet in play, which was 45.4% of bettors that we surveyed, were 2.2 times more likely to say they believe they're making a profit. This is, again, for a couple of reasons. Firstly, there is theoretically an edge in play sometimes, because it's more likely that a trader at a bookmaker could have made a mistake, so there could be a better price available. But a lot of the time there isn't. But because people know that traders can make mistakes in play, and it's common advice online, I think you probably even find some on the beating betting website perhaps, that say that in play betting you can find edges. So because everyone thinks this, they automatically bet more because they think they're going to find that edge more often. Secondly, the rise of social media tipsters that are all pretty much a load of shit. I am yet to really find one that actually wins over a long term. Don't be bloody saying that you know someone who's won a load of £1,000 challenges because they still don't win. If they did win, remember, as we've already spoken about, they wouldn't have bookmaker accounts to bet on because they would already have been banned and restricted. Doesn't make any sense. Men who watch sport are more likely to bet on sports than women who watch sports. And men are also 22% more likely to believe they're profitable than women are. Probably the most unsurprising stat of the bunch, I guess. Men have got big egos. They like to think they know what they're talking about. They're definitely going to be less willing to admit that they make a loss. Men are going to think that they know more about sports and all kinds of things. Let's just gloss over this before we get people moaning in the comments about genders and all that shit. Men are also more likely to bet more often, with 19% of men betting regularly on sports, compared to 17.4% of women, and 55.1% of men betting sometimes on sports versus 50.7% for women. The figure is therefore significantly much higher for women for those that never bet on sports. This is where we start to see the things that really disturb me. The things we're going to talk about now are not right. It is not fair that things like this are allowed to happen. The age group that is most likely to believe they're profitable is 18 to 24-year-olds, and 58.5% of this young age group believe they make a profit on sports. This number declines significantly for those in the 25 to 34 category. It drops again massively in the 35 to 44 category, and then slightly interestingly actually increases as they get a little bit older. For like 3/5 of youngsters to believe they make a profit on sports is just absolutely ridiculous. It's linking back to this thing where it's seen as a cool thing to do. It's cool to be betting, it's cool to be winning. Based on the information we have, we know that this is absolutely not true. And it's the reason why you see bookmakers targeting youngsters and trying to get them into their site, because people think they win more often, they're more likely to end up losing more money to the bookmakers. More people think they win now than ever. Have you ever started to think why so many new bookmakers are popping up? There's loads of bookmakers that weren't around a year ago that have adverts all over the telly. And I don't remember too many bookmakers going out of business. How are so many new bookmakers popping up? Why would so many bookmakers pop up if everyone was winning and there'd be no money in it for them? And the Bet365 chairman paid himself a record dividend of tens of millions of pounds, or maybe even it was hundreds, I can't remember. It doesn't make any sense. And youngsters are being the most affected by this, and it's not right. Those in the young age group are also risking more money each month, with 52.3% of 18 to 24-year-olds risking more than £10 a month in sports bets, and 12.2% of those in that age group risking more than £100 a month. It seems like with most of these stats, there's two main reasons for this that I can narrow it down. Firstly, they think they win more often, so obviously they're going to be risking more money, because if you thought you won more often, then you would therefore bet more often. Makes sense. And also, people in this age group, they've normally got more money to be wasting, really. So they're going to be more happy to waste it. This was something now that I wanted to look at because it was in relation to adverts in football. I know they've sort of trimmed down on them. There was a whistle-to-whistle ban on bookmaker adverts here in the UK, but things haven't really changed. All that I see now is the banners that go around the edge of the stadium while a TV match is on is plastered in bookmakers. And fans of watching football on TV were 33% more likely to play casino games than those that don't like watching football. Therefore, unrelated to sports betting, those that watch football are more likely to gamble money on other casino games like roulette, blackjack and slots. The correlation with betting and gambling in general doesn't just stop there. Those that bet on sports sometimes were 3.2 times more likely to gamble on casino games than those that don't bet. And those that bet on sports regularly were 3.9 times more likely to gamble on casino games. So the more you bet on sport, the more you gamble in the casino. If you had any doubts about the things that I was saying previously in this video, this is where you should probably eliminate those doubts. 29.6% of casino game players believe they are profitable. With sports, it is theoretically possible to actually win long term. Bearing in mind that we've screened all of the people that know how to actually beat the system, it is an impossibility that you are actually able to beat casino games. And 29.6% of people apparently think they are profitable players. And it gets worse. Those that play casino games regularly are over 2 times more likely to believe they turn a profit, with over 50.9% of regular casino game players thinking they're profitable. What the hell is going on in the world? Yes, I understand if you go to the casino once or twice, and you have the chance of winning because of short-term variance, you're going to think you are profitable, even if theoretically you're not because you're up. You didn't know how to actually beat anything, so you're not going to be profitable long-term. But I understand why some people would think they're profitable when probably they're not. But for those that play regularly, it is impossible that they are profitable, and yet over half of the people that we surveyed believe that they were. It's disgusting. It is actually disgusting, and something needs to be done in this country to get the education out there, to spread the word that actually you're all fucking losers. I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's true. Yet again, it's men that are more affected by this, with 8% of men playing casino games regularly compared to 7% of women, 39% of men playing casino games sometimes compared to 35% of women. And good old men, yet again, here we are with our big brains. We're more likely to believe that we are profitable casino game players compared to women are, with almost a third of men thinking that we're profitable, and it's less than a quarter of women believe they're profitable in casino games. What's going on? I know that more women are actually traditionally educated these days, more women get a university degree. Men, you do not win at casino games. What are you on about? And it's also the youngsters, so it's young lads that are being most affected by this yet again. 54.5% of 18 to 24-year-olds believe they're profitable casino game players. And as you get older, yet again, there's massive drops between people that actually believe they're profitable. So as you get older and wiser and more knowledgeable, you start to realise that actually the maths is right and I don't win. But even in those older age groups, the numbers are still far too big. Bookmakers should tell you that if you win, they will shut your account down, and it's only there for entertainment purposes. Casinos have a duty to actually stop people losing so much money. And I'm going to finish on this final stat. Now, I don't want to offend anyone with this. I hope it's not offensive, and it may not even be true, but it's just my take on things. Those in low income brackets were 8% more likely to believe they were profitable casino game players than those in higher income brackets. As I've already said, it's impossible to be a profitable long-term casino player without actually having a system like match betting or knowing how to beat bonuses and things like that. So for those in lower income brackets to believe they are profitable compared to higher income brackets, to me it's an education thing yet again. Those in lower income brackets are typically less educated than those in higher ones. Now, I'm not saying if you have a low paid job that you're not educated. I'm just saying that those in higher paid jobs are traditionally, on average, more qualified and more intelligent. They're going to have higher grades at school, they're going to have more qualifications, and therefore that's why they have better paid jobs. Just a fact. So for me, it just highlights the lack of education that there is in the space, that those in lower income brackets, those that are younger, believe they make profits in industries where they actually don't. I'm going to finish the video entirely by saying the actual percentages of people that win. Skybet announced a few months ago that they restrict 2 to 3% of their customer base. This means 2 to 3% of their customer base are winners, and therefore they've restricted them. I'm going to imagine that Skybet is not the most accurate of bookmakers because they have things like the Super 6 competition, which a lot of people are going to sign up for free and not actually place any bets. They're just going to play the free game. So their percentage is going to be slightly on the low side. They're also not going to restrict all of the winners. There's going to be some people that have won money, but they see as not knowledgeable, because it is possible to win money but not be a good bettor, and the bookmakers know this. They can see who has won money but is likely to lose it in the long term. They're more than happy for them to stay on the site. So the 2 to 3%, there's then going to be a few more of percentage of people that do win but they don't restrict. There's then smaller bookmakers like the world's biggest bellend, Jeff Banks. He said sometime in 2018 that around 15% of his customer base is restricted, therefore profitable bettors. Smaller bookmakers like this, especially crap ones, they're only going to be used when the bigger bookmakers with better bonuses, better odds in general, when they've been used up, when you've already been banned, when you've already been restricted. So the smaller ones are going to have higher percentages of restrictions because, firstly, they're going to struggle to make money as easily, so they're going to need tighter margins. But secondly, the types of people that actually sign up to these sites are going to be more likely to be experienced bettors that have already been banned from elsewhere. The number that I would estimate to be put on people that are actually profitable bettors over a long period of time is somewhere in the 7% range. General advice from me is do not assume you're in that 7%, because you're probably not. That's all for today. If you have found this video interesting, then hit that like button. Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. I respond to as many people as I possibly can, which is normally everyone. And if you do want to see more betting related videos, then hit that subscribe button. I look forward to seeing you again in another video. Thanks for watching.